Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good mid-afternoon, good late evening. I don't know where you are or when you're watching this, if you're watching this, but this is our time of encouragement from the Presbyterian Church of Broomfield. I'm John Buechner, I'm the pastor here, and we are talking to you live right here in the office on Tuesday, November 14th. I said that right. It is mid-November already. I can hardly believe that. I gotta say thank you so much for the wonderful little celebration of being your pastor for 9 years. 9 years. You guys are gluttons for punishment. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm grateful that you are. Thank you for the cards. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for all the wonderful comments and things that were said to me. I know Lori and I are so grateful to be here in ministry with you, and I just wanted to say thank you very much. The second thing is I want to tell you that this week you're going to be getting a letter from me and our finance committee. Those two don't really flow together. But we are having a mini stewardship drive for the coming year. And this is where you will get a card that you can send back to the church and make a pledge for how much you're planning on giving next year to our church. Now, some of you take this very lightly, and some of you take it very seriously, and I'd like you to take it at least medium seriously. Our church functions by your gifts, as you know, and we put together a budget for the coming year based on what we generally assess people are going to give. Obviously, your pledge card is a pledge. It's not a legal document that we will come after you if you don't live up to it. But the idea is to take that card, take a moment, and really talk about it as a family, talk about it with the Lord. What should we be giving to our church? Is this something we want to continue to support? Do we want, God, what do you want us to do with our money? It's a great question to ask him. What do you want me to do with my talents, with my gifts, with all the things that you've given me? So I encourage you to take a look at that, pray about what you're going to give, and then fill out your pledge card in faith, and you can send it back to our office. It will remain confidential. I never see how much anybody pledges or anything like that, and it goes into the hands of our treasurer and finance secretary, and they are sworn to secrecy. I want to tell you that, and I wanted to thank you. But the main reason we're here is for me to encourage you. And the verse today I picked is, whoever serves me, this is John 12:26. Whoever serves me must follow me. And where I am, my servant also will be. We sometimes forget that Christianity is all about teaching us how to walk with God. And there are a number of people that say, well, I became a follower of Christ, or when I became a Christian, I started to follow Jesus, those sorts of things. We are followers of Christ. So, by all means, let's follow him, right? Not follow ideas about him, and not follow principles that you might find that principles or his principles, but following him today, every day. There's that old proverb that if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. The same kind of holds true here. Teach a man how to solve a problem, and he'll solve it. But teach a man to walk with God, and he will have solved all of his life. And I hope that that rings true for you. We don't want to just master principles about who God is and what God said. There are too many surprises that are coming up. We need to follow Jesus. We need to ask God and see what God has called us to do with our lives and then respond. You know, God says, I have a future for you. I have a plan for you. Are you in or not? And it's easy to say, well, I like your principles, but I'm not really sure about if you're really serious about me following you and actually doing and saying what you need me to do. Only by walking with God, following him, are you going to be on a path that leads to life. That is actually what it means to be a disciple, to follow Christ. So here's my challenge for you. Take a minute of prayer today and say, Jesus, how are you leading me this week? How are you shepherding me? Will you open my eyes to see? Will you open my ears to hear? Help me be a better follower in the daily things of life. Then listen to what he says. Read where he points you to read in Scripture. Trust his Spirit, because when we give our lives and we say, I want to follow you, he will lead. And it doesn't mean you're guaranteed it's going to be a wonderful, happy vacation place or something like that. It also doesn't mean, well, now that you said that, I'm sending you to the worst possible place on the planet. It just means I'm going to follow you because you've told me to, and I want to be your disciple. I challenge you to do that today and see what God says. Talk to you soon.